Hello from the global headquarters of the UN Environment Programme in Nairobi, Kenya. It's my great pleasure to address you at these two important events convened by the UN Science Policy Business Forum on the environment. My thanks to the Government of Australia, Geoscience Australia and the Group on Earth Observations for their generous support. 2019 will be remembered as a year when science sounded the alarm on the state of our world, and we intensified our efforts on sustainable development with a renewed sense of urgency. I don't need to tell any of you of the challenges that we face. UNEP's assessment of 10 years of the emissions gap, which outlines where we are versus where we ought to be, shows that we are exactly where we would have been under a business as usual scenario. And we all know that business as usual is simply not enough. IPBES tells us that 1 million out of 7.8 million species face the threat of extinction, and our oceans are warmer, more acidic and less productive. Our lands are facing the onslaught of degradation impacting 3.2 billion people, and we all know that we can no longer work in our silos, ignore science, continue to speak to the converted and hope that others will take action. That is why the UN Science Policy Business Forum is so important, because it emphasizes that now, more than ever before, we need a joined-up approach to solving the drivers on environmental degradation and loss. The forum aims to promote opportunities for green investments that are driven by advances in science and technology, empowering policies and innovative financing. And many of these answers lie with all of you this week. So what is the ask? We need to decarbonize our economies. We need to embed sustainable consumption and production and build circularity in our lives. We need to embrace and value nature as a critical strategy for climate action. And we need to listen to the science in how we direct policy. The good news is that we are moving in the right direction. At the Climate Action Summit in New York, hundreds of governments, civil society, academician, private sector, and many other groups, and youth pledged strong transformational action. Over 100 businesses pledged to cut their carbon emission to net zero by 2050 in line with Paris Agreement's targets. And we saw countless others commit to the innovation we need to embrace a cleaner, greener, and more effective ways of life. I look forward to hearing more about the outcomes of this forum and how we can stitch together the coalitions we need to make a real impact for people and for this planet. So thank you very much for your work, and I wish you all the very best.